So for today, we're going to have 5 speakers, starting off with Chief Fabian Head of Red Earth Cree Nation. And then we'll have Sgt Richard Tong from the RCMP giving an update. And then we'll have Chief Marcel Head from Shoal Lake Cree Nation speak. And then we'll have Michelle Vandervort from Prince Albert Grand Council. She's our Associate Director of the Saskatchewan First Nations Management Unit, as well as the head of our Search, Rescue, and Recovery team. And then finally, we'll have some words from Vice Chief Dutch Leroy from the Federation of Sovereign Nations. So with that, we'll start off with Chief Fabian Head of Red Earth Cree Nation.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone that's on the call here. I'd like to welcome the media here today to the meeting, the Zoom meeting regarding the search rescue efforts that have been ongoing. Today is obviously day 4 of the search, and the search resumed at 8 a.m. As of this morning, and will continue. There have been a number of resources, personnel, equipment being dispatched and utilized. We have sonar and aircrafts flying in, assisting and aiding with the search as well on the ground. We have crews that are searching. As of yesterday, we had 9 crews that have been volunteering and coming in from other First Nation communities in Saskatchewan, and as well other non-First Nation organizations have been coming in as well. And we appreciate all the help that we've been receiving, the support that's been coming in. Obviously, this is a very serious concern that we have a missing boy, and obviously the boy's name is Frank Young, and we've been providing as much details to the family. We've been meeting with the family on a daily basis as well. So we appreciate any prayers. We ask for prayers to continue to come to Red Earth, and we thank you for that. As for the update from the RCMP, I will let Sgt Tong provide some additional information in regards to what the RCMP have been doing in terms of providing the support for Frank, to locate Frank Young. So with that, I'll turn it over back to Tina. Thank you.
Okay, Sgt Richard Tong from the RCMP. Want to go ahead?
Hello, I'm Sgt Richard Tong, the Carrot River RCMP Detachment Commander. First of all, I'd like to start by taking a moment to acknowledge the incredible ongoing search efforts this week. I echo the comments of our search manager, who said he's so impressed with how everyone has come together. We have one common goal, and that's to find Frank Young. I also wish to thank the community of Red Earth, and thank you to the list of more than a dozen search and rescue groups from many Saskatchewan communities, as well as Manitoba and Lloydminster. In regards to our continued search efforts, aerial searches were conducted for over 6 hours yesterday. We used a high-resolution camera during the day and thermal imaging during the night. Although items of interest were seen, this did not locate Frank. Weather pending today, the Civil Air Search and Rescue will continue aerial searches. At this point, drone searches are also ongoing. The RCMP's underwater recovery team conducted several water-based searches in the area yesterday and are continuing to do so today. This is in tandem with searches being done by the Prince Albert Grand Council with their boat. And of course, the large-scale ground search also continues. We've also had the aid of several search and rescue dogs from Lloydminster area involved as well. And of course, we continue to ask anyone with any information as to the whereabouts of Frank Young, please call the Carrot River RCMP or 911 immediately. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant. Okay, next, Next, I'd like to call on Chief Marcel Head from Shoal Lake Cree Nation. Chief.
Thank you, Tina. I'm in Shoal Lake right now at our office. Just my statement today is just to again thank you and appreciate all the support that we've been receiving, from other communities, First Nations or non-First Nations community. The support is well appreciated and well accepted, by our people that are out there. Just basically doing the search for little Frank, and as well as we have our staff. Our offices have shut down in the community to have our staff participate in the search, and also providing food services for the searchers and all the workers that are coming in from all over. We also been receiving an overwhelming support in from nearby communities. We also like to thank the RCMP Sgt Tong for providing an excellent leadership in the search for little Frank. What I would like to share too is we've been getting a lot of text messages, and as well as phone calls from other communities that would like to provide some support, because I know at one point sooner or later our local searches are gonna get exhausted and getting tired, and are already feeling the effects of the the ongoing search. So we like to call on other communities, First Nations alike, and as well as people that will provide ongoing support for the search of little Frank. And I think we're welcome to that idea. But just as long as you report to Sgt Tong and as well as Roy Head, who are leading up the search for Frank, and to make sure who all is coming in from the other communities. If you're willing to come down and help out, the search. The other part, is we'd like to thank all the people that are praying, for little Frank, and as well as the parents. Parents are from Shoal Lake, Daryl and Tanya Young. Those are the parents, and they're original from Shoal Lake. So I'd just like to clarify that as well. I don't think no leader would want this sort of thing happening in your community. And that's why, we're asking for all of the people, maybe all of Saskatchewan, even other provinces, to be able to, if you're able to help out, just welcome that. Also, we just moving forward, this is not the only challenge that we're facing. And I know everybody within two First Nations are doing all they can, to support, all the families that are affected by this. And certainly that really goes a long way, to be able to support them in any capacity that you can offer. So at this time, I'd like to end my comments with that, Tina. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, now I'd like to call on Michelle Vandervort. Michelle?
Can you hear me now, Tina?
Yeah, you're good.
Perfect. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Vandervort, and I'm the Associate Director for Saskatchewan First Nation Emergency Management, and I'm the President of the Prince Albert Grand Council Search, Rescue, and Recovery Team. Grand Chief Brian Hardlock couldn't join us today and sends his regrets. He asked me to join you and give a few words on our involvement in the search. On Tuesday evening, April 19th, we received a call from Red Earth leadership that 5-year-old Frank Young was missing in the community. Our team immediately started working with the RCMP to gather details and assemble our team. The PAGC team deployed early Wednesday morning to the community to assist, and our team has been working side by side with community leads and the RCMP search manager. Our team has brought in our specialized underwater drone and side scan sonar to assist with water search efforts. We have experts assisting the community EOC and on the ground searching. We've also brought in Tina Pelche, who is on our call today, assisting with communications. I'd like to take a minute to acknowledge some of the resources that have been supporting the community. First is Red Earth leadership, volunteers from Red Earth and Shoal Lake, and their experts who have been working night and day to help find Frank. It's so very difficult to be searching for someone who you know and love. The local RCMP detachment, the RCMP dive team, the aerial search plane from Ontario, the RCMP provincial search team unit, the provincial SARSAV, and specifically PA North, Buckland Fire and Rescue, North Carmen Park, Wadena, Porcupine Plain, Kamsack, and Parkland. This morning, I received a 911 tone out for more teams to be activated, so I thank all the teams in advance for their help to the community. PAGC leadership and executive and member communities, the FSIN, Montreal Lake, Moose Lake, Manitoba, Cumberland House, OCN from the PAW, Manitoba, One Arrow, Stanley Mission, Grandmother's Bay, the community of Nipawin, and all area businesses. The Kakawistahau Fire Department, the SPSA, and all of their resources, local fire departments, the Lloydminster Rescue Squad, and every single individual citizen who has stepped up to assist the community. It's times like this that bring out the best in people, and I'm pleased at how everyone has come together as a team. With that, on behalf of the PAGC and our search, rescue, and recovery team, I recognize that this is a difficult time for one of our member nations, and we are committed to continuing on with the search and working to the best of our abilities until Frank is found. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, finally, I'd like to ask Vice Chief Betch-Leroy to say a few words. Vice Chief? Oh, we can't hear you, Vice Chief.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. Do you have any video or just audio?
I just have audio.
Okay, that's good. All right. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Tina. And I'd like to thank Chief Fabian, head of the Red Earth Cree Nation, for allowing me to provide a few words this morning or this afternoon of encouragement to our community, to the search and rescue professionals, and most importantly, to the family of our missing 5-year-old child, Frank Young. As a nation, our children are sacred to our people, as they are to all peoples. We at the FSIN are heartbroken, and we were heartbroken to hear of this emergency concerning our missing child. And we are very hopeful for a successful conclusion to the crisis for the family and the community. We are aware that many search and rescue organizations have answered the call to help, to assist the young family. This includes the great efforts of the RCMP and the other police agencies across the province, in addition to the many professionals from SARSAV, the Search and Rescue Saskatchewan Association of Volunteers. This effort is uplifting as it represents the love and support for our missing child and for the community of Red Earth during their desperate search for Frank. For this, we are grateful. We recognize the tremendous challenges faced by your community. Chief Head, and to the young family, the FSIN shall support the community and the family however we can, whenever we can. And we say as well, Akamemo, let's not give up. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chief. Okay, so I will be uploading this video, this recording onto the Dropbox link. So for anyone who's just joined, you can just scroll up and you'll see the Dropbox link. So now we can move into questions.
Tina,
Yep.
before we move into questions, I'd like to provide additional information.
Okay, sure. Okay, go ahead, Chief.
You know, aside from the search and rescue efforts that have been ongoing for the last 4 days, the First Nations is also dealing with 3 deaths in the community. And we have lost 2 elderly members and 1 adult member as well during this past 7 days. So, you know, the emotional and becoming overwhelming with our members, and that, you know, we'll be calling out to the federal government for additional wellness support, mental wellness support as well. And in the coming days, in the coming weeks, that'll be vital and crucial in terms of reaching out to our members to provide that support, the mental wellness support as well. And you know, like I said, we're being overwhelmed with grief and loss in our community right now. And you know, the obviously not knowing as well with the search and rescue that, you know, the feeling of the overwhelming feeling of not knowing where your loved one is also plays a major takes emotional toll on an individual and family. So we'll have to be dealing with that as well. So aside from that, we also potentially could be running into another dilemma, and that's the annual spring runoff as well. That, you know, with the amount of snow that's falling throughout the winter months here, you know, it's not here yet. The spring runoff is not here yet, and you know that will also play a factor and become a concern in as we continue the search on the river as well. So those things will come into play at some point as well. So, you know, all these things, it's we ask for prayers to be sent to our community, and we welcome obviously any volunteer crews that are out there that want to come into Red Earth and any additional search crews, you know. And you know, I thank the support we've been getting, and I thank our women as well, providing the food to our volunteers as well. And you know, this is a very collective effort, and you know, we're thankful and grateful, but we need that ongoing support. So with that, thank you, Tina.
Okay, so we'll open it up for questions. Either you want to type in a question, or if you want to ask yourself, then just raise your hand. So, any questions? Okay, so we have Omar from Nipawin. Okay, go ahead, Omar.
Hi, this is a question for Sgt Tong. In the initial release, the RCMP had said that this does not meet an Amber Alert. What is the criteria for that, and are we at that level yet, or are we expecting to be at that level?
Amber alerts are a very specific tool used when an investigation has confirmed a child has been abducted. The abduction could be by a stranger or a parent or a guardian, and there have to be circumstances that lead the police to believe the child is in imminent danger. We keep an open mind in any investigation of this sort, but we don't have any evidence to support that there was an abduction of Frank Young at this time. And we are still following up on many tips and leads, but we don't have evidence to support that Frank Young was abducted at this time. We did, however, liaise with Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency, and they were able to broadcast a Sask alert about Frank Young being missing, and they've continued to keep that up on their site at this time.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant. So I have a question from the Star Phoenix, and I'm not sure who this would go to. Probably yourself, Sergeant. So it's please indicate how large the search area is, this way, as of today, beyond the immediate Red Earth Cree Nation area. How far outside of the community has the search expanded?
In consultation with our search manager, I can say the aerial search has gone roughly 5 kilometers outside the immediate area of the Red Earth community. But I don't have, say, a square mileage or anything of that nature.
Okay, so this, the second question is directed to Chief Fabian Head. Can you speak to the wellness supports currently available to community members? And are there additional counseling supports that have come to Red Earth Cree Nation? Chief Head?
Yes, thank you. I guess to that question, we do have victim services, our own local victim services, aiding with that type of support, and also our child and family services as well, to providing some mental health counseling as well, and obviously our health staff as well are providing those mental health support. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. This is probably for the sergeant as well. The question is from Jeff Richards. Are there checkpoints set up in the area at this point in time to ensure no one is leaving the area with Frank?
There are no police checkpoints at this time. Red Earth Cree Nation does maintain their own checkpoint where they document who enters and leaves the community, but the RCMP do not have any checkpoints at this time.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant. I don't know if you can answer this. Here's another question from APTN. Someone mentioned finding items, but it didn't lead to Frank. Can someone speak to what was found?
I think I referred to that earlier during the aerial searches. So our description of Frank Young has him wearing a blue windbreaker type jacket. So during the aerial searches, especially during the day with the high resolution cameras, the operators were focusing on blue objects. And these cameras are very high resolution to the point where the flight crew was leading ground searchers to blue objects that turned out to be a blue Pepsi can, a blue label on a water bottle. So that's just an indication of the scrutiny we're putting into the search. Any object that could possibly be related is being investigated by ground crews.
Okay, thank you. Another follow-up question. Can you elaborate on the objects of interest that were located by thermal cameras?
Again, that's what I just spoke to. They're talking about any blue objects, and we're finding very small blue objects, but they are being confirmed by ground crews and ruled out as related to Frank at this time.
Okay, thanks. Right. Were there any other questions? I'm just going to scroll through the names. I don't see any other hands up. I'm just looking in the chat box. Okay, okay, so I have another question. How is the family doing as the search continues? Is this something that Chief Head can speak to?
Yes. Yeah, I had a chance to talk with parents this morning, and you can just imagine the thought pattern, I guess, that they're going through, and they're just totally devastated, for those, I guess, with a missing child of their own. But they are really, very appreciative of all the support and the counseling and the people talking to them. They certainly appreciate that. And as well as, they've been to realize, that there's considerable amount of people, that are praying for them, and they would like to express their thanks to them. And at this point in time, it's because of the devastation that they're, I guess, the emotions, I guess, that go with, missing a child. They're not prepared to talk to the media at this point in time, and would like to request, they be, given the time, I guess, to process this whole thing by themselves with the help of family and relatives, and as well as leadership and staff, that we have, so at this time, they are, quite devastated, like I said, with the, missing a little child. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. So it looks like I have a couple more questions that are related to the search. Okay, this one's from Global. For people with property in the area, is there somewhere they should be looking for, such as for Frank, such as a shed, trees, etc.? So this is for people with property in the area.
Just before you have questions, is Vice Chief McIyer. I do have some information on the mental health availability of one person from, or a couple of persons from Thompson, Manitoba, Pauline Palantine, who's ready to help out with the mental health aspect of the family. They're ready to do their interviews with the family and go through what they are professionals, and I think they came all the way out there just to be with the family. So I think we have that resource ready. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I don't think we answered that last question. Is that something that you can speak to, Sergeant?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Okay, so for people with property in the area, is there somewhere they should be looking for, Frank, such as a shed, trees, etc.?
From the initial response, we were very fortunate. The local radio station was broadcasting Frank was missing. They were asking all community members of Red Earth to search their yards, search their sheds, under boats, under vehicles, check their houses, crawl spaces, anywhere a 5-year-old boy could possibly be. During the search, fire suppression crews from Red Earth and Shoal Lake have gone house to house and checked in yards, and again, tried to access anywhere a 5-year-old could be located. As the search continued, members of the RCMP search team started going house to house, door to door, speaking with every resident. And in that case, or those cases, sheds that perhaps were locked or secured, community members opened them for the RCMP to confirm Frank wasn't in there. So those are the steps that have been taken so far. But again, we encourage people to, check their yard, check their house. They know their property better than the RCMP. And, check inside the house, check crawl spaces, and anywhere a 5-year-old boy could be.
Okay, so I'm wondering, CTV Saskatoon, does that answer your question?
Hi, that was me from Global, and yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay, so I had another question it was similar from CTV Saskatoon in the message box. Did that response answer your question?
Yes,
And then it was my team. Okay, all right, do we have any other questions? Okay, I think that's it. So, with that, we'll wrap it up, and I want to thank everyone for joining. So again, I'll be putting this recording in the Dropbox. So, okay, thank you.